Hi all, welcome back to the SDET-DD channel. So in the previous lectures, in the previous sessions, we covered about different topics like starting from download, project creation, adding package, adding class to it, adding main method to it, and running it using Notepad and as well as Eclipse, right? And also we have covered like how to add class, what is class. So today we are going to see about the question, we are going to cover the question, that is what is an object in Java. So let me put some theory here. Like, in Java, object is nothing but instance of the class. Okay. Object is nothing but instance of the class, and object having some properties. Object having a few properties, that is identity, then properties, okay, and actions. Okay. So in general term, identity is working in the backend sort of thing. Most of the time during programming, we'll be, using the properties, that is the data members, or in general term, we can call it as variables. Okay. And actions are nothing but the methods in Java. Methods in Java. So yeah, in general, these are the three properties of object: identity. Properties means sorry, data members, that is the variables, and actions are nothing but the methods, right? So we'll see the like concept of object. It's nothing but instance of the class, and it's a real world entity. It's a real world entity. Okay. So whatever concepts we do have in like problems we do have in actual, that problems we are mapping with the help of class and objects. So class is nothing but blueprint for creating objects, and objects are nothing but instance of that class. So we can take example of any real world scenario, and we can do the coding. So let's directly jump to the Eclipse. So over here, what I'll do, okay, I'll add one class. Let's take an name of the class as car, for example. I'll add main method to it. Okay, let me zoom a bit. Okay, so currently you could see the car named class is added, and there is a main method. So regarding object, like we have seen, there are three properties. Out of that, most of the time we are using two, that is the variables and methods. So firstly, let's try to define variables here. Okay. So in Java, there are three kind of variables. So out of that, let's try to define the first, for example, string car name, string car name. Okay. So this is the instance variable. Okay. Now let's try to define the non-instance variable, that is the static variable. For example, int, or maybe let's take the string data only, color. Okay. And in order to make it static, we need to put static keyword, right? So this one is the static variable. Okay. Static variable. And in order to define third variable, that is the local variable, we need to define inside the method, and we can have it like, let's take it example of int number of fields, for example, is equal to 4. Okay, number of fields, for example, 4, right? So within a class we have defined few data members, right? And like for data members, like for variable types, there are three: instance variable, static variable, and local variable, which are specific to the methods or maybe constructors. Okay. So for now, we are just considering the methods, and in upcoming session, we'll see about the constructor as well. Okay. So this is the default method required for execution of Java program. What I'll do, I'll add one more method. Okay. Methods are nothing but user actions, right? So public void accelerate, a method name accelerate, or maybe just write it in small, that is run car. For example, run car is the method we are going to add. Okay, it's a method, it's a user defined method, right? User defined method. It's also called as user defined method. Okay. It's a user defined method, and this is the main method required for JVM to run. And inside this method, I'm just, printing statement like running the car. Running the car. This is what the action, and these are the properties. So in order to access the variables, okay, variables, instance variables, and the methods, instance methods, this also called as instance method. It's a non-static method. It's a non-static method or instance method, right? In order to access this particular things, we need to create an object of particular class. So in order to create an object, we need to consider first the data type, then object name, for example, obj. Obj is equal to new keyword is used for creation of object. Then we are putting constructor, and car open close brackets is nothing, parenthesis is nothing but the constructor, which is used for initializing the variables, right? And this is what the syntax for the object creation. Okay. So for now, let's create a one constructor. Okay. This is what default constructor. Let's not go deep into it. We'll cover it later. Okay. So for now, using this object, I'm going to access the variable, that is the obj.car name. Let's try to assign some value, that is the alto, for example. Okay. And let's try to assign some color value as well. So it's a static, so it will be directly accessible. That is color is equal to, for example, red. Okay. And if the variable is non-static, then we would always need to use the instance of that particular class, that is the object. And likewise, let's say we would like to use the local variable, then directly we can use it. For examples, look number of wheels. So likewise, we can directly use it. And let me print this variable as well. CISO is the short form to print it. Currently, we have set some values using object, right? Let me print the static variable as well. Color. So it's accessible because it's bind to the class, right? And let me call this run car method as well. As it's a non-static instance method, we can call it using the same class object, that is obj dot method name, right? So likewise, see guys, likewise, in order to access the instance variables or the methods, that is instance methods, non-static methods, we always need to create the object of the same class. And object creation is done using this syntax, and over here we are assigning to the car data type variable. Okay. Let me execute it. So in the output, you can see 4 is printed. Okay. Then the name of brand is printed, color is printed, and method output statement is printed. Yeah. So that's all about the object creation and accessing it, the instance variable and methods, instance methods. Yeah. Thank you.